Hello and welcome to Theology Untapped. And today I want to talk about the movie called Crazy Rich Asians. It came out like a week and a half ago. In its second weekend, it made only 6% less than it did in the first weekend, and which means the word of mouth is excellent. People are really liking the movie. And my wife and I went to see it on Thursday or Friday of last week, and yeah, it's a pretty decent movie. And I want to do my review of the movie, because what I hear so far, I think IMDb has it at 7.7 or 7.5. Most of the reviewers on YouTube really liked it or loved the movie. I'm gonna give it a C plus or a B minus. I don't think it deserves anything better than that. It's a good movie. I think people should definitely go see it and support it. But I think the reasons why it's doing so well is as follows. First of all, I think the timing of this movie coming out is really good. The summer movies are getting kind of tiresome, right? We got all this superhero movies, a lot of gun violence, a lot of crude kind of comedy. This movie is nothing like that at all. This is the subject of love, which I think everybody loves. And it is the first major motion picture made by Asian Americans, and just as it was for Black Panther, I think this movie got a lot of people excited, and it's a pretty safe movie to make, in my opinion, to be the first major motion picture for Asian Americans. It's pretty safe. I knew that it was gonna make some money, but it seems like it has a chance of making $200 million, in my opinion. And I hope it does. Does it deserve so? Not too much, but I hope it does. All right. Also, personally, I'm getting kind of tired of the movies, that rather than focusing on entertaining the viewers, it focus more on, education. There is a reason behind the movie to educate us about different cultures, different ideas, different wrongs that's been done, things like that. It was pretty interesting a couple of years ago, but now it's getting kind of old, in my opinion. And that's one of the things I was kind of concerned about when I watched this movie. And I hope and I pray that this movie is not going to be like, Asian Americans had it really rough and tough in this country, and how we, don't like the white people kind of a thing, But thankfully, this movie has nothing like that in it. And I think it's good. It's perfect. Not because I don't think we have Asian Americans have anything to complain about, in my opinion. But even if there was, I'm glad that the movie stayed away from it. It's the 21st century. Let's move on. And it's really good to see. It's a very positive movie, right? Very positive. The story of love is good as well. Now, of course, the subject of the movie is interesting, because we got this crazy rich Asian that falls in love with an average Asian American, and they fall in love, and they're gonna go to Singapore to meet his side of the family for the first time. And for some reason, which makes no sense whatsoever, she has no idea that this man that she loves is crazy rich Asian. And I don't know how you could keep anything like that a secret, but I guess she doesn't know. The story has been told many times, and it is a good story to tell. I think the best movie with this subject is Arthur. They came out in the 80s. That movie is much, much better than this one for sure. And the reason why, I think, is because in Arthur, Dudley Moore plays a character who is kind of bored with his money. He's a serious person, but at the same time, he definitely grew up without a father figure, so he's kind of lost. The butler is his father figure, and he gets drunk because he's lonely even with all that money, and he's looking for love. And when he gets drunk, he's hilarious, right? The character in this movie, Crazy Rich Asian, the main character, he's crazy rich, and doesn't seem like he has a father figure, which is kind of sad. I don't know why they made the movie that way or wrote the book that way, but well, I guess that's the way it is these days, right? Get the man out of the picture. But one of the biggest problems that I have with this movie is the fact that the main character doesn't show any kind of emotions, none whatsoever. He's always like even keel. He doesn't get upset or sad or nothing like that at all. He reminds me of that guy from the movie with Brooke Shields. I think it was Endless Love. Remember, he was some kind of a model that became an actor for that one movie. I don't think he ever made another movie. He wasn't very good at acting. He was just the same in every scene. And I think this character is the same way. And it just makes no sense how this person has no emotions whatsoever. At the same time, the main character, the woman who's in love with this crazy rich Asian, her character too doesn't make any sense. All right. The reason why I'm not going to give this movie a high grade is because the main characters are boring. Right? The side characters are more interesting. And I thought the side characters are supposed to elevate the main characters, but in this case, it really takes away from them because you don't get to know the main characters. The woman is supposed to be a professor at New York University, grew up with single mom, once again, no father. It's kind of shame how movies are that way these days, but no father. And so it would seem that she would have a lot of bitterness. It would seem that she worked really hard to get there. And yet, how does he stay as sweet as she is? That's impossible. That never happens. If there really was a sweet Asian American like her, yeah, I would definitely recommend my sons to date someone like that. But it's very, you have to be honest and say that that's impossible to find. And since she was so sweet, it didn't make that much sense, right? Even when she's trying to be strong in the movie, she's not, which is kind of sad. But the person that really showed how strong she is because of all the mistreatment she had in her life is Michelle Yeoh's character. Now, her story, that's the kind of a movie that I want to see, because there's only one time when somebody explains why Michelle Yeoh's character is so mean, right? And it's because when she was introduced to that family, rich family, she was the least liked, and she had to prove herself to fit in. And yet the grandmother who raised the main character, she seems to like this new girlfriend of her grandson, and Michelle Yeoh's character is kind of upset about that. Now, how did she become so strict, and the experience that she had to go through to become so tough? Now, that would be something to watch. Kind of like what is that movie called again? Joy Luck Club, right? That's probably the best Asian American movie ever made, and that movie kind of dealt with that subject, and it's really cool, that movie. So this one misses out on that. And another character I really liked was played by the actress named Gemma she's from Britain. And her character and how she met her husband, who is not crazy rich, and how they built their relationship and his struggle with his insecurities. That is a lot more interesting than main characters. I mean, a lot more interesting. And I say main characters because I forgot their names already. I forgot their names because they're so uninteresting. But Gemma character and her husband, that is another movie that I would love to see. Because the acting wise, Michelle Yeoh and Gemma by far is the best actors that kind of took away from the rest of the movie. The rich Asians who does crazy things, they were just way over the top. It wasn't necessary. But the best part of the side story, not the best part, but the funniest, the comic relief basically, Ken Jeong and Awkwafina. All right, now Awkwafina is excellent. She needs to make a movie. Somebody please hire her and make a movie around her. Just write a movie about her life. That'll be very interesting. I would watch it on what is that? 3D or cinema. What is that? Anyway, I would pay extra $1 to watch that because she has a good story. Awkwafina does. Korean American. I think she's Korean American rapper. and what she had to go through, she'll be perfect. Now, she is very natural in acting as well. So please make a movie about her. That'd be great. And she was really good. In fact, she was too good in the movie. Once again, she was so good, it takes away from the film. I was more interested in her life. Now, Ken Jeong plays her father, and I don't know if his character was necessary or not. I'm sure he was in there just to let everybody know, hey, Ken Jeong's in it, so it's going to be somewhat funny. And even him, his character is always so funny that anytime he's in the scene, and a lot of times he's in the background, even when he's in the background, he's the most interesting person there. Or at least I noticed him more. So he kind of takes away from the movie. But I do have to say that Ken Jeong has the best line. I laughed out loud in the movie theater when he was acting like he couldn't speak English very well. And then he said, oh, I'm just kidding. I could speak English. I studied in the United States. And they say he went to Cal State Fullerton. Now, that was by far the best line. I cracked up so hard. Cal State Fullerton. That is so funny. Anyways, yeah, that was too funny to be in the movie. Not this kind of movie anyways. So I didn't buy the chemistry between the main characters either. So it's kind of sad. So I know there are 3 books. So I'm sure there's going to be a sequel. But if you're going to do a sequel of this couple, before that happens, you need to make a movie about Michelle Yeoh's character. And please make a movie with Awkwafina. All right. Her life story so far will be awesome. Right? People should see her rapping skills and everything else too. But overall, I'd say I'll give it a C+ or B-, something that you should watch. All right, watch it on Tuesdays when it's cheaper. But watch and please support it because it'd be great to have the first Asian American movie make over $200 million. All right, on a budget of what, 30 million? That'd be excellent. Not as good as Arthur, not as good as Joey Luck Club. I was gonna compare it to the Ping Pong Player. If you haven't seen it, it had a budget of maybe $100,000. But I enjoyed, to be honest, I enjoyed Ping Pong Player a little bit more than this one. All right, because Ping Pong Player was actually really funny. But of course, with all the money spent, everything is beautifully shot. They made Singapore look fabulous, right? I know before my wife didn't want to go to Singapore. She wanted to go to France and European countries and stuff. But I think I could convince her that we should go visit Singapore and other Asian countries to visit rather than European countries. I think this movie did it. All right, everything is shot well, very artsy and cool. All the beautiful things, it's not just the scenery, all the beautiful buildings, beautiful people, beautiful clothes. Everything looked good, right? And it's refreshing to see that. So as far as the scenery, the way it's filmed, all the colorful scenes, those are all great. Acting skill-wise, a few people, 2 or 3 was excellent. But the story in itself, not very good. I wasn't really into it. Although when he proposed at the end with the ring, that was kind of touching. I guess at that part, a lot of people cry. But by then, I was kind of getting bored, so it didn't really work for me. But I could see how it does work. So I'd say I'll stick with the C+. But since I'm Asian American and I should support it more, so I'm going to give it a B-. How's that? Anyways, go watch it. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.